Hey, what's up everybody? It's Jason. I am back again with another video. I thought I'd do a little revisit now of some of the past years best of videos I made. I'm not even sure if I actually made a best of 2011. I know I did a lot of 2010s and it's got to be in there somewhere in the machine. But I've gotten a couple of recent things that were from that same year. Thought I would add them into the mix, do a little bit of a ranking here. I'm also going to start splitting up albums from singles just to make two lists for every year, right? Because there's that much, I guess, in the collection. Now I'm videotaping on what has been the hottest day of this summer so far. I think it reaching into like 45 degrees Celsius is what it feels like, but it was like 36 or something. But so we'll see how far I can get up in this hot record room on a second floor. But I decided for albums I'm going to do a top 15, and this is going to be the countdown for 2011, if you guys can remember way back when. Yeah, there was vinyl being made back then too, as it always has been. There's some hardcore punk right here out of Richmond, Virginia. This album has kind of grown on me. It's just super noisy, noise rock, hardcore. Aghast is the band. Blood Opinion is the name of the album, and it's kind of a banger. About 6 songs, I guess, on each side. So yeah, again, out of Virginia. I don't think they're really around anymore, but when they were, they definitely kicked up some good noise. And this is on the Distort Reality label. So that's going to be at the bottom of the list for albums for 2011. Next up, I've got a bit of a super group of unknown band members, members of bands that I've never heard of actually before, but this is something of the Texas scene, I guess. A band called Video. Sort of a little pop punk, but really great stuff, more sort of garagey punk, I guess. And the Leather album. They also did a really nice die cut on this album sleeve, as you can see. Must have cost them a fortune, as I keep hearing everybody talking about the legendary New Order single Blue Monday die cut and how much it cost the label. But yeah, this is a great record. I got this had a record swap, I think, or a record fair, and just been playing it to death ever since. Basically, it usually finds its way into my DJ sets at some point. It's the debut album, it says, from the hype sticker here, from Video, featuring members of Wax Museums, Bad Sports, Silver Shampoo, and the Wiccans. None of which I really know much of. It's on Play Pinball Records. So if you ever heard of that Video, let me know down in the comments below. But it is a great sort of garagey rock album. Next up, I'm going to go into some CD territory here and some death metal slash grindcore. I should have introed the video by saying it'll be the usual variety of styles, of course. Electronic, death metal, grind, synth, and even some neoclassical, so experimental. Get ready for that. But next up in my list is going to be a CD I don't have on me right now. Hold on. Here it is. Okay, I'd go all the way downstairs to pick it up. This is actually a bit of a preview too, because I just recently picked this CD up, and it will be making a new arrivals video soon. Very soon. So in advance of that, this is Wormrot and their second album, I think, which is Dirge. Some great grindcore out of Singapore. Legendary trio. This is kind of where it all began with these early albums. This is 2011, obviously, and best of 2011. Yeah, it's what you would expect from a grindcore band from 2011. But yeah, absolutely killer. Loads of tracks, a ton of tracks, all short. Now they've been kind of evolving their sound a little bit over the years, and I've been sort of off and on with this band. They're not exactly my favorite grindcore band of all time. Might get into some of them later on in this video, actually. But nevertheless, ripper of an album and a band for sure. Wormrot is my number 13. So going into the top 12 now. Wow. I thought this was going to come a little later in the list. As I said, we'll get into some more grindcore favorites. But here it is already. Number 12, I'm going to go with Brutal Truth's album, End Time. And this was their last album, actually, sadly. I wonder if they will make a return at some point. They had one hell of a run. what's his name, Dan Linker from Nuclear Assault created this beast of a band. Just killer grindcore, and again, like a massive song list here of 23 tracks on this album. I think I had this on vinyl at some point too, but then decided to just go with the CD because I played it more on the CD. But this is a Relapse Records release. Not a huge fan of the album cover. Looks a little boxy nowadays, but yeah, Brutal Truth. Another banger in the grindcore. So I guess the grindcore, I kind of got them out of the way in my top 15 list here of albums for 2011. And I am still getting over this cold, which is just crazy, hanging on forever. So programming note, if you guys haven't seen my message yet, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, I will be reviewing a bunch of singles in honor of the recent challenge that Rob Walker gave us for 30 singles, which I did the other day. Check out that video. Tomorrow, we'll be doing a live stream with the one and only Harris Pilton out of the UK. We're going to check out some DJ 12-inch singles tomorrow, house, techno, electronic, and otherwise. That's 6 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. GMT time. But now back to this best of 2011. I got, for number 11, I still got a lot of metal to go here, okay? So Destruction had an album, a bit of a return to form, I guess they would say, with Day of Reckoning. And I don't know, I give these guys a lot of pass because I just love the early stuff, right? So, and they just keep going, they just keep coming at you. I wouldn't put this in their best, I wouldn't put it in their top 5. I don't know if I'd put it in their top 10 even, because they got that many records. This was their 11th album, but it is a pretty fun album, actually. The more I listen to it, the more fun I have with it. There's definitely some standout tracks on this one. I'm going to go with, obviously, I think it was the single. I was going to say hit single, but the single, Hate Is My Fuel, which is track number 2. It's got a killer opening riff. There's lots of great riffs on this thing. They're also debuting a new drummer at this point, Vaver, I think. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he stuck around till 2018-ish, so for a good chunk of time. The Demon Is God, also killer opening riffs too. So, and of course, the best thing, well, maybe not the best thing, but a really fun thing on this album, the Dio cover of, it was a Stand Up and Shout. Just always a great track, right? So obviously they're not going to be doing Ronnie James Dio's vocals, but it's a Destruction version of Dio, which is a lot of fun. And I kind of got used to the fact that these guys always do a fun little cover, usually like punk songs, etc., on each album. So this time they did a Dio cover. And yeah, 11th album. It's a little long because back in the day, nowadays they would have a much shorter album, I think. This runs about 55 minutes or something ridiculous like that. Maybe 52 minutes with 12 plus songs. I think it cut it down to 35 minutes. I'd be even happier. But yeah, Destruction is going to come in at my number 11. Number 10, man, it's all metal at this point, but stick around for non-metal fans because there's more synth stuff in the top, in the higher up of the list, I think. But for number 10, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with what I had written down, which is Havoc. U.S. metal band from, I think, Denver. I'm pretty sure Denver. Great band. I recently saw them last year open up for Exodus. First time getting to see them, and they've been around for a little while, like since obviously the 2010s. This is second album by the Denver crew of Havoc, and it's really great. Time Is Up. I don't have like a favorite on this one because they're all quite consistently good and the same and very similar. So super wicked thrash metal, in your face, a little bit technical, quite a bit technical at times. I kind of remember that from the concert, thinking this is so good, but it gets so technical that it doesn't vary very much. You know, unlike the Destruction where you have, you know, warts and funny aspects and covers, etc. Havoc is a little bit more serious with their thrash, seriously good. So got to put the Havoc in there. I think my original video, if it still exists out there, best of 2011, I think I probably had these guys in there. So that is now sitting at number 10. Number 9, gonna go with some death metal. It's a parade of metal here right now. and a classic album. Almost put this a little higher, um, but it's a little bit of a mixed album for me. There's some tracks that definitely stand out more than others. But this is Autopsy's return, magnificent return after their turd of an album before. Literally, if you want to look that up, they had an album with poop on the cover. So, but they're just crazy guys like that, as we have come to love and know the Autopsy crew. One of the oldest running death metal bands still going, I guess, formed in '87. And I kind of like their newer stuff. There's like tons of glare going on here. Kind of like their newer stuff more than this one. And their early stuff more than this one. So this kind of just sits right in the middle, I guess. But yeah, overall complaint with this would probably be just that it's a little too long. Again, I got a short attention span. 12 songs, only 1 hour. But I like my albums a little shorter than an hour. I like 40 minutes, 35 minutes even. And in fact, I was looking it up, and I think their first couple albums are like same amount of songs, 12 songs, but in and out in 35 minutes. This one a little longer. But that being said, I really like the slower, doomy tracks on this, and the CD's just like popping right out because it's broken. I don't even know. I don't know what country this one is out of. I think this might be like Argentinian. It's Peaceful originally, right? But this is on the Icarus label, so I think it's legit. And yeah, so favorite tracks on here. Title track is good. Macabre Eternal. Always About to Die is a great death doom sludginess. Of course, how they do it, with a few key twists here and there. Seeds of the Doomed is also good. Bludgeon and Brained is pretty cool too, with the bass work, etc. Then they have, I think they got a song on here that's like 10 minutes long, and that is just a journey all in itself. So anyway, Autopsy out of California, they are legends. So, and it was quite a return to form for them for that album. So had to put it in the top 10. That made number 9. Now number 8, we're going to go with some synth wave, some dark minimal synth here, and a cassette. Actually, this is Veiled. Big fan of this duo. Are they a duo or trio? I think group anyway. Part of them out of Philadelphia and part out of Barcelona. So a bit spread out. Been looking for this album online. I haven't come across it yet, but I gotta look harder, I guess, maybe on Bandcamp. Musée Secret. It's on the label Silfox. Yeah, Silfox is the label. And pretty good cassette. I dragged it out and popped it in again just to make sure it was all that. And I'm a huge fan of Veiled. I've got a couple other records that are different from this one, obviously. But this is some of the early stuff on cassette. A duo there, for sure. And yeah, just cool, dark, minimalist synthwave. What else to say about them? Little bit of new beat industrial as well. Veiled, definitely check them out. Kind of a rare cassette, don't see that too often. The only tape that's going to be in the top 10 here. Number 7, gonna go with something experimental as well. Totally out there. Kind of a surprise pick actually, because it's a weird year, 2011. Wait until you see my singles. My best of singles. A lot of techno obviously in there, but not exactly the peak year yet for techno, I don't think, in 2011. But I got this record for $5 in the States at Academy in New York. In fact, I think it was so cheap that I bought a couple copies at the time and sold 1 or 2. But it is really interesting, kind of improv. I think it's improv. It's definitely experimental. Called Whiteout and Asphalt and Delay on the other side. Is this a split? I don't think it's a split, but it's Whiteout. The name of the album is Asphalt and Delay. And yeah, just it's got drone noise, but it's also got some free jazz stuff going on in the background as well. So very cool record. It's a U.S. New York experimental duo. They've been around since the 90s, according to my notes. And yeah, elements of free jazz, experimental, and noise. Cool record. Cover looks like it's going to be just like harsh wall noise, right? And drone, but there's these other interesting bits going on in here. And it's kind of a record I grab often just for some transition or background and some DJ sets. All right, number 6. We are getting close to the top 5 here, and probably the highest ranking metal album I think in my list. Yeah, is this project from Joel Grind, of course, Toxic Holocaust. I love the cover art on this one. Kind of changes up the cover art for each release, but yeah, looks like it's going to be black metal, but it's not super black metal. It's definitely in the thrash category. And it's the first album that Joel has got a proper band, I think, behind the whole project. But he started this whole thing off solo-wise. He's from Oregon. This is the 4th album by Toxic Holocaust. They got a bunch. I have mostly records after this one, so this is... Sometimes I think of this one as the first album because I don't think I have anything before this one. Killer stuff. If you haven't heard Toxic Holocaust, one of my favorite thrash bands of the current era. I think I would put this up there with Slayer, a lot of Slayer stuff for sure, especially like the later Slayer stuff. But yeah, lots of influences, Venom, Discharge as well in there. Was it like the last track, Sound the Charge is kind of definitely in that punky kind of vein, I find. Favorite tracks on here, Judgment Awaits You, Liars Are Burning, The Liars Are Burning, which is more on the B-side, and Revelations. Really finishes strong, quite strong, and then that last song, Sound the Charge. Yeah, man. 10 songs, in and out, in 32 minutes. And I broke the CD cover, but that's what it looks like on the inside. Anyway, yeah, Toxic Holocaust. It's a full package deal here with the graphics and everything, but yeah, a ripper of an album. 32 minutes, totally perfect for what I want with thrash or metal in general. Number 5 is next, and it is a slower pace for sure. Slower and darker, I will say. Darker probably than that Toxic Holocaust. This is a pretty interesting record. This is Kreng and Grimoire. That's the name of the album. It'd be a little hard to see the gray on black here, but yeah. Picked this up used in Toronto just last year, and it's been slowly creeping into my DJ sets, etc. Really cool, dark, experimental stuff. Again, with a little bit of neoclassical aspects too. I mean, aka some violin, I think. In this thing, it's experimental, it's dark, ambient, modern classical, and I think it's Norwegian. It's on a Norwegian label anyway, on Miasmah, number 16. Don't know anything about this artist. It is numbered, actually. This is number 358 of 400, so 400 copies. And totally found it in the wild, saw it in the wild, and dig it. Grimoire is the name of the album. The artist is called Kreng. Kind of plays like a movie soundtrack in a way. Very cool experimental record. And I put it at number 5. So number 4, gonna go with something that's a little bit of a compilation. I feel kind of like I'm cheating a little bit, but there's a couple of releases here in the top 15 that are comp albums. In other words, the songs are not from 2011, but the release is certainly from 2011. It's not a reissue. And this is one of them. This is Sympathy Nervous record. Picked this up at Rotate This in Toronto. Had seen it before and was intrigued. It's definitely some synthwave stuff going on as it kind of looks from the cover. Japanese artist, what is his name? Yosehumi Ninuma from Japan, who unfortunately suffered the loss of his entire studio in the tsunami in 2011. So they kind of put this record out to raise some funds for that, from that tragedy. This is all early recordings. I guess they had saved those, or they had them somewhere else, but recordings from 1979 to 81. Very cool, old school sounding synthwave, a little raw obviously, and some cool tracks on this thing. What's my favorite tracks on this? His Forte. Check out Extended Time with Computer Vox on there. It's pretty funk. That's a really funky one actually on side B. That's one that has been in a few of my mixes. Actually, I would say all of side B is really good. Side B's got kind of like a bit of a Cabaret Voltaire, like when their early experimental phase vibe, and then the last track is sort of trippy, psychedelic a little bit as well. So yeah, cool album, cool comp. Sympathy Nervous from 2011. So number three left to go. I guess I put the two comps back to back here. This is the other comp. This is a band. Man, I didn't write all my notes on this one, but they are from, I believe, from Europe. These guys. It's like escaping me now. It's like bugging me now. From the 80s. And yeah, I think Belgian scene, because it's got some quotes from Front 242, but Parade Ground. This got reissued, or well, issued anyway, from Dark Entries out of San Fran, one of my favorite synth-based labels. Tracks are from 82 to 88. I think they're brothers, actually, in Parade Ground. Just really great, like cold wave, post-punk as well. Some guitar, some vocals, obviously, just dark vibes, the golden years. And it comes with this cool zine as well. A booklet, you got that, detailing some of the releases. So tracks, I guess, from all these releases. These were like rare EPs or singles, etc. I've never really seen any Parade Ground in the wild, to be honest. And then you've got some lyric sheet as well. So yeah, well done. Dark Entries always does a great job on unearthing obscure electronica, synthwave stuff, post-punk, etc. And this totally fits in that vibe. So a record I play all the time. Not every track, but definitely a few good tracks in there. And yeah, I guess they're from Belgium, from the 80s. Parade Ground. Two left. Electronic. I was playing this earlier, but I don't think it made the cut of the video. But this is a cool record. This is probably the only record out of the whole list that I bought in 2011 when it came out, if you can believe it. Yeah, I'm just going over the list. Pretty much everything else was bought post 2011. Some of it much more recently, but this one got it when it came out. This is some experimental electronic synth music. This is the voice and tape music of Ursula Bogner. And I've talked about this record before a couple times, but is it like a real artist or a fake artist? My suspicion is a fake artist. So it's this obscure electronic lady from upstate New York, where they somehow magically found her tapes from the 60s, something like this. But I think Jan Jelnik and maybe Andrew Peckler are behind this project. They performed together at Mutech around this year of 2011 in Montreal, and I don't know if they performed this release or not, or elements of this release. But yeah, it lists all these tracks on the back with dates from the 1970s, so I guess not 60s but 70s. Krautrock kind of vibe, think like early electronic level of craft work, but or Tangerine Dream, I guess, more appropriately. Yeah, just really interesting sort of buchla or modular synth kind of work, and tape, synth and tape, I would say. This is the voice and tape music of Ursula Bogner. Sun equals Black Box. I think they reissued the record again as well, and I liked it so much that I got 2 copies of it at the time. So I don't play it that often anymore. I've got so much experimental music, but it is a classic to go back to, especially when I'm in a real synth kind of mood. So that brings us to number 1 for 2011. Believe it or not, we made it. 2011 albums. I'm gonna post a video of my favorite singles of 2011. As I said, I'm gonna try to do singles and albums separately. Just split them up. Just give more room to breathe for all these releases that I have. You know, like in my Discogs, a year like 2011, it was like 2 full pages of 250 listings per page. So I'll do the math, about 500 releases, I think, from 2011, something like this. But these are the 15 best albums of it. This is a record I got only a year ago, maybe a little bit more. I got this over in Europe. I think I bought this in France, in Paris. It says €18 on the front. Double pack, as we would call them, two vinyls. in here, and it's on the Cream label. This is a U.S. artist, Cantu. Love his stuff. Excellent stuff. Well, this is not going to go back in, is it? I'm going to just take it out. I wanted to show you guys anyway the vinyl because it doesn't have a damn thing written on it. It's just black, black labels. I think I wrote on it in case it gets lost in the shuffle. But yeah, Fallen came out 2011. It was reissued a few years later on the Kreng label from Netherlands. Here you go. There's some info here on the inside and some ghoulish artwork as well. Just super cool, old school style techno kind of tracks, like Chicago track style. I think he calls it jackbeat, and acid is his flavor or style, but great old school style. And then finally you do get the track listing on this sheet, but I also looked it up online on Discogs, or not, I think I found it on Bandcamp. Picking out my favorites, but there was just so many to actually list. Yeah, loads of stuff. I Want to Ride is really great. A New Night, Fractal, Evil Motion is good. Shoot the Fish, everything is good. There's maybe a couple that I'm not super keen on, but even those are pretty dope as well. I need to listen to it more often. Actually, I think I'm kind of I don't grab it all the time because it's got the double vinyl and it's like completely black labels on the vinyl, so you don't even know what track you're listening to at times unless you really figure out what side A and what side B. I'm going to put some stickers on these records, I think. But yeah, it was a really cool find to see this in the wild when I was in Paris, and I did not see it anywhere else when I was traveling in Europe. I didn't see it in the Netherlands or even Berlin on that trip. It was a bit rare. Now it's been reissued, but it was reissued after or before I picked this up. But yeah, this is my number one for 2011. So quite a journey, as you can see. Grindcore, thrash, death metal, techno, experimental, electronic, synth, neoclassical. Everything's in there. That was my 2011 picks. And I'll see you guys in the next one.